Hey, what's up? It's glitchy. I just restarted my phone because it glitched. It kept crashing in the middle of making this video. Let's see if I can even do it again. I wanted to do my favorite books of 2022, and we'll see how well this works this time. I got into comics. These are both, they go along with the music of the artist. So this is Skin and Earth by Lights and True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys by Gerard Way. I'll start with this one because I read this in January and then I just read this one. So I started the year with this one and I closed it off with this one. It's great. So this one is Skin and Earth. It goes along with Lights' Skin and Earth album, and the music videos just bring it to life. It's some of the events that happen in the comic. And I got these little booklets because I didn't want to just read one little issue at a time. But yeah. And Lights has created a whole universe with this. She even did this side project called Loon, and N is wearing a shirt of it. It's great. This is N is led down a dark path by new lovers that reveals a twisted fantasy world and her own true nature. It's also kind of post-apocalyptic. It's great. And also, Pep is, her new album is kind of going along with Skin and Earth. I'm not really sure how yet, but this whole universe is just become an obsession of mine. As well as, little segue, Danger Days, Killjoys. I wanted to read this for a long time. As soon as I knew there was a comic about Danger Days, I wanted to read it, but I couldn't find it because it's not called Danger Days. It's called The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. I've talked so much that my voice is just having issues. So this is set after the events in the Danger Days music videos. It follows the girl, mostly. She's never named, she's just the girl. And if you know anything about Danger Days, you know what this is about. I don't think there's anything I can show that's not a spoiler. But this whole universe is just really interesting, fascinating. And yeah, it's really good. And there's more Danger Days comics after this, and more Gerard Way comics. So it'll be really interesting to see what those are about too, because this was really good. My voice is cracking. I brought my laptop out while my phone was restarting. Anyway, let's get into some of these other books. This is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is the prequel to Hunger Games, so Snow before he becomes president. This is the 10th Hunger Games. story, Lana Snow is, his family is struggling, and he's mentoring one of the kids in the Hunger Games, and like if she wins, he gets the money, but and like the story is really interesting, but then like at the end it's President Snow, and it doesn't get better. like if you've read Hunger Games, you know Snow is not a good person. So like I'm reading this whole book and it's like really, really good, and then it's like Snow just turns into what you expect of him from the actual Hunger Games books. But like the actual writing is good, the story is good. Like obviously Hunger Games was really good, so this is just kind of, it's the same universe, you know. It's just falling snow. It's great. I do actually have one nonfiction in here, and I'm not really sure how well I can talk about it because this is a race book and I'm white, but there was a lot of good information in it, so I feel like I should include it. This is stamped Racism, Anti-Racism, and You. It's supposedly not a history book, but it talks a lot about history and like how we got so bad, and like understanding how things happened in the past is a good way of getting past that. So I thought this had a lot of really good information in it, and I can't really say much else on that, but I thought it was good. I think it's something people should read. I'll put it in favorites. So this is Book of Night by Holly Black. This is like one of those interesting, it's kind of hard to do some fantasy right, because this is shadow magic. I'm just like forgetting how to talk properly because I've had to talk so much trying to redo this video. But it's shadow magic, and like I don't really notice like people's shadows. Like if somebody's shadow moved or they didn't have a shadow, I don't think I'd notice all that much, but Book of Night is a world where that is a thing, and it's like really fun. Like Charlie is an interesting main character. I've read a lot of books where like the main character is just really boring, but they're like supposed to do this really epic thing. But like this whole book is interesting. Like everything that happens is just like it gets you to keep reading it. It's interesting. And that is what makes a book really good, you know? And a lot of these books are like that. Okay. I have 4 more, and it hasn't crapped out on me yet, so. So this is red, white, and royal blue. This is obviously like an alternate universe where like everything turns out like better than like, okay, so Alex is the president's son, and he has beef with a prince in England or whatever. I think it's England. I read this kind of. I think I put it in my June, what I read in June. They fall in love. And yeah. I need to stop talking for a second. I don't know, like, I think it's just because it's set in a world where, like, everything turns out good and, like, everything is good. And also, like, I don't know what it is about, like, enemies to lovers that just, like, makes more sense than people just being sappy. Like, you know, you can joke around and stuff, right? So, like, this is good. I don't really remember much else about it, but it is good. Okay. We also have The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is about this Hollywood icon, and there's a lot of trigger warnings for this one. Probably for the others too, but like this one had a lot of like abuse and death and alcohol, something along those lines, and some other things that are spoilers, so definitely an intense read, but it was really good. And I think like the romance in this was actually done pretty well, I think. I don't know if it's just because like some of them were fake marriages. Kind of a spoiler, I'm sorry. Like you could really tell the people that Evelyn did like, and like that was kind of good. Like romance is just done really weirdly in a lot of books, but like this whole story was really good, I think, and it makes me want to read Daisy Jones and the Six more. I haven't gotten around to that one yet. Okay, and then we have Starflight, which is a sci-fi. I'm doing it again where I forget to explain more about the book. This is Evelyn calls upon this like really little known, no one really knows who she even is, this reporter Monique, to write something about her. And yeah, it just goes into Evelyn telling all about her life. Yeah, okay, back to Starflight. So Lara is a criminal. She has like criminal tattoos on her hands. I don't know why that's like relevant, but anyways. She has to, she's getting out to another planet, but the only way to get there is to become a servant. So she becomes the servant of her like high school, college, her school bully. And she just turns tables and she runs away with, like, it's just really fun and interesting in a way that you don't get in a lot of books. There's just like a lot of really fun stuff in this. And like when I saw this at Goodwill, it was just like, okay, this whole little blurb about found family and they're on a spaceship. But it's actually really funny. It's really fun. We need more characters that just have a good time. Like, yeah, you can have a little fun once in a while. And then honestly, we have Huntress. I think I talked about this one in my June video of what I read. This is, these two girls go on a quest to save the human and the fairy realm because something is affecting both of their worlds. So they go on a quest. Their party just keeps dropping like flies. So it's this really dangerous journey, and they fall in love, but Tyson is going to become a sage, which is like a magic-y version of a nun, so she can't be with anybody. It's just a nice little, well, I don't know about nice, but it's a good fantasy read, and I think I mentioned when I read it that this got me back into wanting to write and wanting to read more. So that was really good, and I love that they put both a map of the world and a pronunciation guide. I wouldn't have known how to pronounce some of these things without it. More books need to do like pronunciations, glossaries, if there's like any funky words in there, especially the sci-fi fantasy world building stuff. Some of those have like funky little words. And an honorable mention, because I'm not done with it yet, Zenith. This is kind of weird. Like, I'm only that far into it. I haven't read much, but it's another really interesting, really epic. I don't know, maybe it's because I've been watching Star Trek, but there's a lot of like really interesting like epic adventures. It's great. So this is Andromeda Rosella is the Bloody Baroness. I don't really understand this, like, trope they've gone for, because on one hand, Andy is just this regular girl who doesn't even like killing, and then, like, she becomes the Bloody Baroness and, like, wipe the floor with their blood. But, like, it's actually really interesting, and they've gotten into a situation with an old bounty hunter from, well, a bounty hunter that used to be in Andy's past. But across the galaxy, a ruthless ruler waits in the shadows, biding her time to exact revenge for the destruction of her people. The pieces of her deadly plan are about to fall into place, unleashing a plot that will tear Mirabelle, the galaxy, in two. Andy and her crew embark on a dangerous, soul-testing journey that could restore order to their ship, or just as easily start a war that will devour worlds. As the Marauder hurtles toward the unknown and Mirabelle hangs in the balance, the only certainty is that in a galaxy run on lies and illusion, no one can be trusted. Like, I've been reading some really interesting stuff this year. It's been great. I hope to read more interesting stuff in 2023. So, yeah, like this if you liked it. I'm sorry my voice has been, like, really weird this whole time. But I did it. I actually got to make the video. Like this if you liked it. Subscribe. I got a whole stack of stuff here. Okay, bye.